In Queensland, Australia, there's a mountain or a few mountains. I think it's just one, I'm not sure. But they call it Black Mountain or Black Mountains, where it's really big mountain and it's black and it's a whole bunch of granite. And some scientists say they believe that it was formed by volcanic activity. And there's an Aboriginal story talking about the Dreamtime spirits piled all of those granite boulders up in preparation or waiting for man's arrival or something like that. I don't claim to understand it, but I do claim to um, believe the Aboriginal story more than the scientists' story about it. I think that it's really um, a mystery, pretty much, because you'd think that if it was volcanic activity that caused the Black Mountain to form, you'd think that they'd be all connected a whole lot more, like fused or melted together. But it seems as though that a lot of them are just put on top of each other, where if you were big and strong enough, you could just lift them up, no problem. They wouldn't be all stuck together like, when you get your little jar of eucalyptus lollies, and if they get a bit, if it's a hot day and if they get all melted together, if you just grab one of them, you pick it up and the whole thing or a whole bunch of them are stuck together. You'd think it'd be like that if it was volcanic activity. So since they seem to be so loosely put together, like if your thing of eucalyptus lollies was all dry, you'd easily be able to pick up one and they wouldn't be stuck together. So it seems as though that the Aboriginal story makes a lot more sense. I'm not exactly sure how, but I believe it does. And apparently, with granite and stuff like that, if it gets melted, excuse me, if it gets melted and becomes liquefied, like it would if there was volcanic activity going on, I think that the granite, once it cools down and reforms, resolidifies, I don't think it turns back to granite. It turns back to something else. I can't remember. I think it was like rhyolite or something like that. But apparently that's true. So I agree with the Aboriginal story more than the scientists' interpretation.
As you travel north, it's not long before the rainforest begins to peter out. And then quite suddenly, right on the edge of the scrub country, you come across this amazing rock formation, the mysterious and sinister Black Mountain. Geologists reckon the mountain was created by volcanic activity, a great pile of black rock. It looks almost like an enormous slag heap. Aboriginal people have got a legend for it. They reckon that the Dreamtime spirits piled up these rocks, stacking them right up, one on top of the other, all in readiness for man's arrival. That's granite. Look at that. These are the Black Mountains just near Cooktown. And it's composed of all these ginormous big granite boulders, all sitting stacked one on top of the other. In fact, you've got to be careful when you're climbing up here, because it's got holes and caverns and caves all around the place, and you can fall down as easy as anything. There's some stories round that a few whitefellas that came up here and tried to explore in here never came out again. Principally policemen and people running from the police. The problem is they crawl in underneath, get lost, can't see any daylight, and can't find their way out again. Aboriginals had similar sorts of stories. One goes that there's a whole tribe came through here at one time, crawled in here to hide, and only half them managed to find their way out. They also tell us that on a windy day, you can hear them calling out, trying to find their way out again.